Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 3:17 a.m. on this very warm Sunday evening going into Monday. It is currently 69 degrees outside. Only 69? It feels a lot warmer than that. It was really nice today. It was beautiful. It was windy this evening, and but like summer breeze. Yeah, it was really nice. That song Sister Golden Hair by America is on 70 Yacht Rock Radio right now on Sirius. I love the band America. I can remember listening to them when I was a little kid growing up. Okay, two things. First of all, it is so weird how like my eyes pop open right at 3 o'clock every morning. Okay, can I just tell you? Like between like 3 and 3:20, my eyes just are like, boom. I'm like, I wake up like immediately. And today, or tonight, my eyes like, I woke up and I was like, my alarm had gone off and I like woke up and I looked at the clock and it was like exactly 3 o'clock. And I was like, this is so weird. So that's first of all. Second of all, I did a bunch of videos today while I was driving around. I did a review video and then a Peter Does Stuff video and then a video with Tanya. And I just realized right before I left, because I went to go grab the batteries and I had no batteries in the chargers. So I didn't take the batteries out of my camera and charge them when I got home. And so I had the battery that was in the camera, and then, which I think it's this one, and I think that, well, it is this one, I know for a fact. And I think it should have quite a bit of power in it, because I think Tanya and I only filmed for like 3 or 4 more minutes after did I change the battery, or did I? Oh no, I changed the battery right before I started filming with her. So, it's already at the halfway mark. Yeah, and then I have the other 2 batteries in here, one of which might be from last night even. So you guys, I have no idea how much battery power that I have tonight, so we're just gonna have to wing it. I had a good day today. I'm gonna drink my LaCroix. I really want a Diet Coke, but I have no Diet Coke left. Alex went to the Colts game. I talked about that last night, who he went with. He had a really great time. He got to be on the big TV twice, which he was real excited about. And then they went out to eat afterwards. And then he didn't get home until like, well, our friends live like way out there, and so he had to go back to their house, and then he had to drop our other friend off that he drove with over to their house. And so he didn't get home until like right before I got home from doing the video, because I did a video with Tanya today. So he got home probably at like, I don't know, I came upstairs, or I came in about 8:30. I think I got home at like 8:30, so he must have got home at like 8. And he was already in bed with the dogs. And then I was uploading my videos, and I went upstairs about 9:30, and he had fallen asleep already. So he woke up for a little bit, and we talked for just a few short minutes. And then he was like, babe, I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go back to bed. And I was like, okay. So then he went back to bed. He was so tired. So I got up today and got ready for the book club and had a bunch of stuff I was doing around the house. I was gonna try to pre-film videos before the true crime book club, but I just was not feeling it. I stayed up too late last night listening to more of the Julie Murphy book. So I was a little tired today when I got up. And I just was kind of like doing stuff around the house, and I knew that I had to go get coffee and make a couple phone calls. So I did that, and then I came back and did the book club with Mel. We had talked earlier today too. And I was like, I'll just film videos afterwards, because I knew I'd be like more awake then. And so, we did the True Crime Book Club today. It was great. I was kind of surprised. Like, I thought that we would only end up talking for like 20 or 30 minutes about this book. And there weren't a bunch of us that guested. It was Mel and I, and then Nikki came in, and then Stacy came in, and then Bunny came in. So, hi, Stacy, Nikki, and Bunny, and Mel. And, there weren't a ton of people that were in the live stream. But the amount of people that were there, I was even surprised at that, because I just didn't think people would be that interested in the book this month. But we ended up talking about it for like almost over an hour. I was kind of surprised. It was a good discussion too. And that was sprinklers. I just drove through sprinklers that were turned onto the street. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm kind of hungry. I don't know why I'm hungry. I didn't really eat a whole lot tonight. I had some, before Tanya and I did our video together, did I say that? So Tanya and I did a video together talking about the Real Housewives. Before I did that, she was hungry, so I took her through Burger King so that she could get her husband a sandwich, and then she got a small cheeseburger. You guys, have you ever seen the cheeseburgers at Burger King? They're literally like the smallest cheeseburgers in the world. They're like this. They're like almost smaller than White Castles, which is so funny because like the Whoppers are huge, but they don't, like, there's no in between, I guess, or something. Johnny goes, this is like the smallest cheeseburger in the world. So, but anyway, I took her through there, and I was like, well, I should get something later to eat. But by the time that I was gonna go get something to eat is when I was uploading the videos, and I was like, well, I don't want to leave again to go get something. We didn't really have anything in the house. So my wonderful dinner was the bottom of the bag of some chips. And I made 2 of those graham cracker and frosting sandwiches and had some water. That was my, I don't know, did I even have water? I don't even know. That was my wonderful dinner tonight. So I'm kind of hungry right now. I don't know. Like, not super hungry, but anyway. Oh, man. Let me just get the air figured out here. It's cold in here. It's like I turn the air on and then it gets cold in here when it's like nice outside. I should just open the windows. Sometimes though, like when I'm driving around, even though it's like, because now it's 70 outside, it can get like cool in here. I'm gonna turn the heat on just a little bit to counteract that. So I'm gonna finish If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy tonight. I have less than 48 hours or 48 minutes to read, because I have 2 hours, and 2 hours equals 48 minutes because I listened to it at 2 times 5 speed. It is such a great book, you guys. I am so loving this book so much. It's just really super endearing, and I really, really like it. So I would highly suggest If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. I'm not really sure what I'm going to read next. Definitely some kind of like mystery. I was thinking like a cozy mystery next. But then I was kind of thinking that maybe I would go back and read I think I have the next one in the series, the Diana Rowland series, My Life as a White Trash Zombie. I think I'm on book 3 out of 7. So I thought I might go back in and pick up that series again. You know what? I did not include that series in my list of series that I'm reading. I gotta put that series down. So I think I'm on book 3. Like that, I have to start book 3, and then I have like 7 books to read. I don't know. Oh man. I got a ton of stuff to do tomorrow. Errands to run and stuff. And yeah, it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 90 or something. And then Tuesday it's supposed to be like 87 or something like that. It's supposed to be nice on Tuesday too. This hotel right here, maybe it's just because it's right off the interstate. It's so interesting. It's Wood Spring Suites. It seems like a nice hotel, but it's like right off the interstate. Every night I drive by, it's like literally packed, you guys. Like the parking lot is so full every night. And then what's so weird is there's a hotel right next to it back here. I don't know what this is. And there's never anybody there at that hotel. That's more of like a motel, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I want to read next. But I'm going to finish that book tonight, so I'm going to have to figure it out. I also started that Kristen Smart podcast, and I haven't listened to it the last 2 nights because I got really into this Julie Murphy book. So I want to listen to a little bit of that podcast. I'm thinking about and going to Vegas. So it's like trying to figure out like what shows I want to download and stuff like that. The Kristen Smart podcast is like 12 parts. So I think I'm going to download like the half of like the show. And then also, as far as like shows, like unless there's like good movies that just came out that I could like download on iTunes, I'm thinking about downloading Malignant on HBO Max. I have another HBO Max movie about the guy that like traveled, like it was the last time that we went to Las Vegas. It was like the HBO Max movie that you could download that comes out like the same day as like other movies in movie theaters. And I downloaded that. I think I still have that downloaded. But Malignant, the horror movie, is supposed to be really, really good on HBO Max. I've heard good things about it. So I might download that. And then today in the live stream, Stacy and Nikki were talking about Lula Fresh, which is about that MLM that's about the leggings. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And it's supposed to be like a really interesting documentary, and the people act crazy and whatever. So I'm thinking about downloading episodes of that as well, because I think that that would be kind of an interesting show to watch. That's like the kind of documentaries that like I really get into. Do you hear those birds? Those birds remind me of the very end of To Kill a Mockingbird every time I hear them. I don't know what kind of bird that is. I used to think they were owls. I don't know why. It's so weird because for dinner, I'm starting to think of things like that sound good, like chili and garlic bread, or corn muffins, or like lasagna and garlic bread. And these are like all things that my mom used to make for me as a kid when I was growing up. And I've kind of like in the back of my head, like I've been really trying to figure out like what I want. You guys, I don't even know. My summer plants are absolutely thriving on my front porch. I mean, thriving. They look beautiful. I mean, of course, it's in the 80s and the 90s and they're watered well and they just look great, right? But I've kind of in the back of my head been saying to myself that like when we get back from Las Vegas, I'm gonna really settle in and just get like ready for fall, you know, and because that will be like, you know, the last trip that we take before like fall starts and whatever. And so I was like, you know, like when I get back from Las Vegas, I'll just be ready for fall and, you know, get excited for fall and all this kind of stuff. But then I was like, but if we come back and it's like in the 80s and the 90s still, like, I'm not going to want to get mums and pumpkins and, you know, just, I mean, because, listen, October can be warm in Indiana, too. I'm, like, so attached to these plants this year. I know this is weird, you guys. I know I have attachment issues. I've had attachment issues my entire life, okay? But for some reason this year, I just cannot say goodbye to these plants. Like, they have stayed beautiful all summer. They've provided a really beautiful, like, front porch for me this summer. And I've just really enjoyed my front porch this year. I mean, I always do, but this year especially, it just, I don't know, like, I really enjoyed it out there, and with the new chairs, and I kind of think I have it figured out now, like, how I want to do it, like, going forward, you know? Because I just, like, randomly picked the plans. I can remember, like, filming the video. God, it seems like so long ago that I filmed the Peter Does Stuff video, going to Walmart and going to their garden center and picking out all those plants. I mean, I kind of, now that I have, like, because I have these things that the plants sit in, you know, I kind of have an idea for, like, what I want to do for the front porch. We really didn't use our back patio like hardly at all this year. I mean, we did one night we sat out there and watched movies with Sarah. Alex's mom came over that one night, and they had like cheese and hummus and stuff on the back patio and wine. And then, but that was really it. Like, we really didn't, Alex and I didn't sit out there much. I used to, like, well, part of the problem is that both of our neighbors have dogs now, and so they're out there a lot because of the invisible fence, and they're running, right? So, like, to sit out there and, like, do work, like, on, like, my videos, to, like upload and edit my, well, I don't edit, but, you know, like, just the beginnings and the end. What I call editing, which is, like, filling out the description box and stuff like that. Like, to do that stuff on the back patio while they're running around, barking at the top of their lungs, like, isn't super peaceful the way that it used to be. So, I just don't sit out there as much as I used to. I think, I don't even want to start talking about landscaping, because I know that I talked about that forever and we didn't end up doing it. But I kind of like what we have now. I think that had I put in the boxwoods, I don't think that I would have been happy with it, because I think they would look nice, but I think it would have taken away from the presence of the front porch. I don't know, maybe next year I'll revisit it again, we'll see. Alex doesn't really care, so he's kind of like, I'll just leave up the landscaping and stuff to you. But the backyard, I would kind of like to have, like, 4. The thing is, I don't know, like, how big they're gonna get and grow into the house, but I would kind of like to have, like, 4 skinny pine trees that, like, people couldn't see in necessarily, and it could be, but the other thing is with this, I was gonna say, so then people couldn't look in, and we would have some privacy and whatever, including the dogs. But the thing about that is, then we lose our view. And I love that I can, like, look back out and look through the woods, and in the wintertime I can see, you know, through to the other side. I mean, I love that. I don't want to lose that view, because I want to have privacy around our patio that we hardly use, you know what I mean? But I would like to figure out a way next year to make our patio, our back patio, like, where I would use it more. Well, you know, one of the things is this summer is we had so much rain, you guys, this summer. Like, and not like where it rained and poured, like, for an entire day. But we had, like, so many days consecutively in a row where it would sprinkle or it would rain for, like, an hour. And then even if it was, like, beautiful for the rest of the day, that 1 hour, where if we had the cushions out on the patio chairs, it would ruin the patio chairs, right? So, well, it wouldn't ruin them, but they would be soaked, and then they would have to dry off for a couple days. So we couldn't leave the cushions out there. And I did one time this summer, left the cushions, I think it was just once actually, left the cushions out there, and they had to dry over a couple days. I may have done that twice, I don't know, that I wasn't expecting rain. Because the cushions get so soaked, and I even sprayed them last year with that rain guard stuff and everything that you can put on there, and it just didn't help the situation, which is why we got the plastic thing to put them in. We have this big chest that Alex got. I think he got it from Amazon, or, oh, the battery is about to die. Well, I'm getting ready to pull in here anyway, so, to turn around. That's why we got the chest last year, was to put the cushions in, which is fantastic, right? But it would be nice if we could just leave the cushions out. If we could leave the cushions out there for like 2 weeks in a row when we knew it wasn't going to rain or anything. I mean, if it sprinkles, that's one thing, right? But if we could just leave them out there for like 2 weeks in a row, that would be fantastic, because then we could just go in and out of sitting back there. The problem was that every time we wanted to sit on the back patio, we had to put the cushions out there, right? So I was less apt to go out there and just kind of hang out because the cushions weren't up there most of the time. I would have had to take the cushions out. You know, it's silly. It's whatever. Well, I mean, I guess it's not really silly. It's just, it's who cares about all these little, I mean, this is the stuff that I think about, though, I guess. This is my life. Okay. Oh, let me put in please let me put in a battery that is not completely without any kind of power. I'll be right back. Okay, I haven't done this in a long time where I don't have any kind of battery whatsoever. Now, it says it's fully charged right now, but I could like pull away and it could start flashing red, because that's what it happens sometimes. It usually happens within the first like minute if it's gonna show that there's no charge to it whatsoever. If that's the case, then I'm just gonna have to, I'm like looking at it, nope, it's staying full. I'm just gonna have to pull in somewhere, and I may have one full battery and just not know it. And this may be it. Well, hopefully so. So yeah, I don't really know. I thought I heard it beeping. I was like, I took a sip of this and I was like, is that it beeping? Well, it isn't showing yet, so anyway, it would definitely make it easier for me, and I'm not wishing for cold weather yet right away, because I can enjoy fall and still have warm weather. But the colder weather would definitely make it easier for me to make my decisions on the patio and getting mums and stuff like that. I think that I would be like more ready to do that stuff. I feel like it got colder sooner when I was growing up. Like, I can remember going to get school, like school clothes shopping was something that I always loved to do. I mean, even when I was a little kid. And I can remember getting like corduroy pants and sweater vests and flannel shirts and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I feel like this is not showing my head tonight. That it's like showing me like, okay. I would get like corduroy pants and, you know, sweater vests and flannel shirts and stuff. And I can remember like the first week of school wanting to wear my new stuff to school. Like my corduroy pants and my sweater vests and flannel shirts and all of that. And my mom being like, Peter, like it is 85 degrees outside. And I'd be like, I don't care, I want to wear my new stuff to school. And so I would wear it to school. But then I can remember going into, and it's weird too, because like when you're like in Indianapolis, like I'm sure this is the whole Midwest. I mean, people that are working, people that are going back to school, a lot of them are wearing fall clothes already, right? So, well, I don't think, like, I think a lot of, like, kids in school today wear, like, you know, I don't know, kids don't, unless they go to, like, private schools, they wear a lot of, like, shorts and t-shirts kind of stuff. I don't feel like we were allowed to wear shorts and t-shirts when I was growing up, like, when I was in elementary school. I feel like shorts were only, like, reserved for, like, special days, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but, so, I can remember, though, by, like, the middle of September, I feel like I was still wearing that stuff, and the temperature was, like, matching what I was wearing, so it wasn't, like, to wear a sweater vest, or to wear a corduroy, or to wear corduroy pants was something abnormal. Oh, this is what I was going to say. But, like, even though it's, like, 90 degrees outside, it's nothing to see people that are working in, like, turtlenecks and long skirts. Or in, like, a sweater or something like that, even though it's, like, 85, 90 outside. I don't know how they do it. Now, I mean, as of, like, probably 5, 6 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna be wearing shorts. I mean, Alex joked forever with our friends that, like, I wear Birkenstock sandals until I can't wear Birkenstock sandals anymore, until it's cold outside. And I don't love wearing socks. I love socks. I think socks are cute. And I love cute socks. but I don't love wearing socks. They're just not, I mean, unless I'm like wearing like sneakers or something like that, you know, I don't love to wear socks, and so I don't if I don't have to. I bought a pair of Birkenstock clogs last year, brand new leather Birkenstock clogs that I have not worn. And I have a pair of suede Birkenstock clogs in the closet that I did used to wear. I think I need a new pair though. I think they're like really worn out. So I'm gonna get probably a pair of Birkenstock suede clogs as well. And then I think those are gonna be my fall shoes for like September and October. And then, you know, last year for winter, when it got really cold and it was snowing and stuff like that, I just wore my Ugg boots everywhere. I can't believe in retrospect that like, I just never thought that I would. Well, you know, Justin Anderson, that hairstylist guy that's friends with Kristen Cavallari, he wore that real basic looking Ugg that's like the sandstone suede. They're just real basic ones. And those are the ones that I had last year. I still have them. And mine are still in like really good condition too. Like, I don't think I'm gonna need another pair. I have to look at them. I have to see how the insides are. But like, I might get another pair with something different. I loved those last year. They're so comfortable. They really go with anything. They look cute I think on guys with jeans and like a sweater or a flannel shirt. And so I wore them with everything, you know. The one thing I don't know if I'm gonna repeat from last year is the Uggs with the inside cotton, because they were comfy until they got like wet from the snow, and then they weren't okay. And it just like, it didn't ruin them, but it's like they got matted down inside and they weren't like slippers anymore. And I just don't, they were real convenient, I will say that though, just to throw on and like go vlog, because I wore them to vlog a lot. Now if I wear those, I am gonna need a new pair of those, because they're ruined on the inside, you know. The jury's still out for me with Crocs. Like, I like them, and I like them on other people, but I don't necessarily love them on me. My husband hates them. He thinks they're the ugliest shoe in the face of the earth, and I'm not sure I disagree with him. But they're comfortable, I will say that. But not everything that I do in this world is for comfort either, you know. But I'm telling you right now, with still having this this blister or whatever you want to call it, scab on the back of my heel, I don't ever want to go through that again with shoes. Never. Never, 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 never. It hurts. It hurts so bad, and now it's been itching. And then this one on the top of my foot too, from these sandals that we got. I've got to get some moleskin, because I want to, you know, that moleskin stuff that you put it like on a shoe. I think that I can figure out a way to wear those sandals where my foot won't get cut open. I'm glad that this battery is working. I need to do a major rehaul in my closet too, which I did. God, when was that? A year or two ago? I think it was like about a year ago that I cleaned out my closet and I got rid of a bunch of stuff. I need to go through there and do the same thing. I probably have about, I don't have that many hanging shirts in there anymore. I have probably about 10 hanging shirts I need to get rid of. But I have bought so many t-shirts and stuff since then that I need to go through my t-shirts and see, like, realistically, even if it fit perfectly, what I would keep. And everything that's in there right now is like the size that I am. And I need to go through there and I need to figure out, oh, the size that I am or a size below. So I don't have like I had for years, I had mediums and stuff in there that was never going to fit me because I hadn't been a medium in 10 years, you know. But everything that is in the closet now fits. I also have a ton of shoes. that I need to get rid of because I just don't ever wear them anymore. Melissa does a fundraiser every year for, because I've got a lot of shoes that are in really good condition. She does a fundraiser every year for pairs of shoes for one of the dog rescues that she works with in Indianapolis. So I need to get those together to donate for that. And then I need to go through my t-shirts and stuff so I can bag up a bunch of stuff to donate it. Like sweatshirts and sweaters and stuff, a bare minimum now. I used to hang on to sweaters that I'd had from 30 years ago, but I got rid of a bunch of stuff last time. So I really don't have a lot of that. But I do need to go through like all of my t-shirts and stuff. And I have to go through my pants again, of the pants that I kept, and which ones am I going to realistically, ever fit into again. The thing is that, like, I have such a hard time throwing stuff away that's kind of unique or different that, like, let's just say, I mean, I've talked about losing weight forever. Let's just say if I did lose weight, like, and I wanted to rebuy it, it's like, well, they don't really make that anymore. You know what I mean? Or I can't find it anywhere. So I'm like really hesitant to kind of throw some things away because of that. Like specialty t-shirts and stuff like that, I won't throw away. I just won't. But like real basic like pants, shorts, or like a hoodie or something like that, like yeah, I'm not keeping that stuff. I sometimes look at this stuff and I'm like, it's just baffling to me that I was like ever the size to wear that stuff. And then I think to myself, that was within the last 13 years that Alex and I were together. But 13 years is a long time, but like I sit there and I look at it and I think, God, this is so bizarre that like I actually fit into this stuff at one point, Like there was a time that I could wear this stuff. Go this way. It seems like so long, I get so tired of just not being healthy and not losing weight. But I just really don't want to do the work. That's just the God's honest truth. Like, I know what I need to do. And I know what it's going to take for me to lose weight. And honestly, like, until it's like I have to sit by a pool with a bunch of people or something, most days I just really don't care. I know that that's so horrible. And what's really weird is that as I get older, it's not so much the concern about, like, how I look. Like, that was it for so long for me. That I was like, oh, I'm heavy, I mean, that's not the word I use, but then, as I've gotten older, I've been more concerned with my health. Which you would think that would be enough, right? To, like, I don't know. Have you ever, like, wanted something so bad, but at the same time you, like, are indifferent to it? Like, I don't even know really how to explain it. Like, I can see, like, there's not literally a day that goes by that I don't think about, like, wanting to get super healthy and wanting to, like, be active and, like, run again and work out and eat healthy and eat whole grains and vegetables and stuff, And, like, that sounds so appealing to me every single day. And, like, look healthy and only drink water and, And, look, I think about that all the time, right? But then there's, like, this other side of me that's just completely indifferent to it. I don't even really know how to explain it. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, there's another side of me that's just, like, for a long time it was just, I would just kind of tell myself, like, oh, one of these days you'll do it. I don't know. I don't really honestly know if one of these days I will do it anymore. I don't. Like, and that, I think that kind of scares me. think what really scared me was that after lockdown, when I put on like 25 pounds, 20 pounds, well, actually, it was 25 to 30, and I've since then lost about 10, which I know is surprising, but I have. But I think, like, after I lost, I think that after lockdown, when I put on that 20 pounds, and since then have, like, really tried to get back to the weight that I was before lockdown started, and I just haven't done it. And I just, like, I do real well for, like, a day or two, and then, like, it's just off to the rails again. And we're not even going out to dinner right now. Like, it would be very simple for me. I mean, it wouldn't be simple, that's not what I'm saying, but, like, it would be 10 times easier now than it would have been 5 years ago. We were going out to dinner every night 5 years ago. We hardly ever go out to eat anymore. Alex and I were talking about that. Melissa and I were talking about that. It's like, we just don't go out to dinner as much as we used to anymore, you know? So, I mean, at best, maybe brunch, I would have to, like, at Patashu, which is easy, they have, like, you know, egg white omelets, and they have vegan options, and they have smoothies. I mean, they have help, like, they have yogurt, the vegetable yogurt, fruit smoothies. They have healthy stuff at Patashu, you know. I don't have to get a gluten-free waffle. And so the reality is, if I wanted to do it, I could choose to do it, right? Because we're really not going out to eat that much. I could just get stuff in the refrigerator and whatever. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, something switched in me this last time where I just, like, I was beating myself up for getting to a size or getting to a weight after the lockdown. I mean, I couldn't believe it, you know? And then to not, like, be able to get back down to what I was before, which I worked on, but not hard. I didn't work on it, you know? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It's not going to take, like, me having, like, a personal trainer and nutritionist that I meet with on a daily basis. Even just checking in, like, through a phone call. And I think, like, until I have the real desire to do it, I don't think anything's going to change, you know? And that's just where I'm at today with it. I mean, somebody said something to me the other day. It was a friend of mine, and, like, real nicely asked, like, well, where are you at with, like, the weight loss journey and stuff like that? And I said, you know, where I'm at with it today is that I just love to eat, and I'm not going to feel guilty about that, and I'm not going to shame myself for it, and that's just where I'm at today. And you know, but that being said, like, where I'm at now, like, am I going to be 10 to 15 pounds heavier in a year? Like, I just, like, that's where the health stuff scares me, you know? I'm already unhealthy, I'm sure, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I haven't talked about it on here for a long time. I don't like to talk about it in videos because let me tell you why, okay? The haters love it. They love when I talk about my weight stuff. They think it's a complete joke, which I totally understand, right? It's like the other people on YouTube that talk about their weight stuff. It's like they're never going to do it, so poop or get off the pot kind of thing, you know? And so it becomes this complete joke, which it is a joke. It is absolutely a joke, right? And if it's not that, then it's all you guys that are really, really concerned. And then I would say half of you don't know what to say. And the other half of you have had your own experiences or are close with people who have had experiences. And then you want to share with me experiences. And I can tell you what's really difficult is getting into the comment sections, although I really appreciate it. And where somebody says keto and the next person says Atkins diet and the next person says workout and only eat or don't eat carbs. The next person says only eat carbs, and the person says vegetarian diet is bad, and the next person says vegetarian diet is the way you should go. And it's really hard to read the comments because it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I really don't know what to, I mean, like, and everybody's personal experience is, and they're just doing it to be nice, you know, and I know that. And I've had a lot of people send me books. And plans and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, you know, I appreciate it, but it was interesting because when I read that book, Skinny Bee, you know, I went into reading that book because it was about getting healthy. But my takeaway from that book was so much about, like, vegetarianism and veganism, right? Because that's really what the book is. It's really propaganda for that. And I don't know why that book really stuck with me. I don't know why that book and, like, videos I've watched on vegetarianism and things like that, like, it's not, like, even for me, slaughtering animal videos and stuff like that made me, like, a vegetarian. It was really like hearing somebody explain to me that if you do this, you're, like, minimizing your carbon imprint on the world, right? Not just in not eating meat, but in, like, you know, the what do you call it? The exhaust or whatever it's called that, like, factories put off into the world or put off into the earth. That, you know, like, they are, you know, meat factories and things like that, on and on and on. It was all these interesting facts that I had never thought about before, you know, and I thought, okay, this is, like, one thing that I can do. There are all these, like, people out late at night on those, like, what do you call them things? I don't know what they're called. Oh, he's docking his right there. Oh, there's another guy right there. Maybe they're home or something. What are those things called? Those scooter things that you, like, pick up and then you leave somewhere else. You can leave them wherever. Here in Broderpool, they leave them by, like, the bike post things, which I think is real nice. Yeah, but it wasn't, like, this, like, hardcore stuff that, like, made me think, like, I think, like, when I would talk about, like, videos and stuff like that, people were like, oh, you have to watch this and you have to watch that. And I would start to watch these videos, and they would be these really aggressive propaganda videos about, like, killing animals and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm already aware of how meat byproducts are made and are, like, the majority. I've seen my fair share of documentaries through the last, you know, 30 years on why this is. And, like, if that was going to convince me, it would have convinced me 30 years ago, right? Like, I don't think most people that are eating a cheeseburger or a chicken finger don't have, that they're clueless on how a chicken finger or a hamburger is made, right? I'm not saying it's not kind. That's a huge part of why I am a vegetarian today. But at the beginning, that wasn't it. I wish that I could look at vegetarianism the same way that I could, maybe it's just like, I don't know, switching it in my brain as far as, like, getting healthy, you know, and switching to looking at certain vegetables, even if I had, like, some low-cal dip with them, or, like, in vinegar, like my mom used to have when I was a kid, you know, she put broccoli or she put cucumbers in vinegar. If I could just switch in my head that was just as delicious as a bag of chips, and just not ever going for the bag of chips, you know, and then just starting to walk every day. It's like one of the things that was crazy to me that was that when we were in Las Vegas, that, like, I lost a pound or two or whatever, like, or stayed the same weight when we got back. I couldn't really remember my weight, but, you know, and Alex was like, well, we were walking every day. And I mentioned it on here, and people were like, well, you were walking every day. Well, if I got up and I walked every day for a mile or two here, before I got to the point where I could start running again, I could walk until I started running, you know? I mean, I need to do that stuff. And it's just like the Peter of 20 years ago, if you would have heard him say in a video, well, maybe I could get up every day and I could walk for a mile until I can start running again, he would be like, that is a joke. Like, what are you talking about? Like, me 20 years ago would have been like, yes, it's great to walk. Like, if you want to get healthy, walk. But, like, why are you having to convince yourself of this? Like, just go do it. Like, and I feel like I've lost a little bit of that. It's like every time I've tried, and I'm not saying that I've had 100% like real strong attempts, but it's like every time I've tried in the last, 10, 15 years, it's like it's gotten harder each time. It's gotten harder and harder and harder each time, And I don't know. It's just like, like, when Alex and I first started dating, like, I would get real excited about working out. Like, I loved going to the gym and working out. And, I'd even go late at night and I would get on the treadmill and I'd lift and I had my own little routine. I liked going there when nobody was there. That's how I had always, like, worked out, Like, when I was, like, living in my apartment back in the day, I would, go over late at night or whatever. And then, so when I got this new gym membership recently, a couple years ago, which I've paid for every month and haven't gone to in like literally a year and a half. And I was, I had a personal trainer and I was going to, first I had this guy and then he left and I was going to this girl. She was real nice. But like, I felt ashamed walking through the door, And then she'd be like, how many times have you come to work out this week? None. And she'd be like, okay. And then we'd do 20 minutes of planks and running back and forth, and I was so out of shape, and I just didn't want to go. I was embarrassed. It was just, I mean, if I would go and I would make progress, and that would be something to not be embarrassed about, but I was embarrassed, I was like, I'm not doing anything for this, and she was real encouraging. She was great. I mean, she was really like, she was great personal trainer, because she would sit down with me and she'd say, okay, we're not meeting your, like, every other week we'd sit down and she'd say, you're not meeting your goals. What can I do to help you meet your goals? Like, do you need me to be harder on you? Do you need me to call you? Do you need me, and I was canceling appointments and stuff, and then I, show up and I wanted praise for showing up or whatever, and she was awesome, but it's just, that was a waste of money. I do know that it's like the one thing that gets me kind of like down talking about, it's like I get real excited, like, I was listening to this audiobook last night, I was like so excited about it, I was like kind of cheesing out in the car by myself, and I love talking about cozy mysteries, and I love talking about food, I love talking about all kinds of stuff, but it's at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And I think that, like, one of the things that really scares me is that I'm, like, I've talked about this on here before, is that I'm having a lot of acceptance of where I'm at this point, that I'm just like, well, maybe this is just where you're at, maybe it's not going to change, maybe you're not going to get super healthy and lose a bunch of weight, maybe that's not the plan for you anymore, if you're not willing to do the work, like, it's probably not going to happen, And I think that acceptance kind of scares me too. It's like, but I'm not okay with that. And, yeah. I'm not okay with it. Anyway, what a Debbie Downer conversation, right? And the reality is, I was thinking about this, like, the other day. Even for me just to lose 10 pounds would be healthier than where I'm at right now, okay? Right? So, and then to lose 20 or 30 pounds would be great. Like, drastically would make me, like, be able to move easier, and, which, that's a joke, Like, the fact that I'm 49 years old and I'm even thinking about that is, like, a joke. And, You know, but I watch these people on YouTube. Well, I don't watch them anymore on YouTube, but I did back in the day, you know. And it's like 1 second they're 250, and then 2 years down the road they're 500 pounds, and they're like, what happened? And I'm like, that scares the hell out of me. You know, that scares the hell out of me. Seriously. Like, I'm like, because I know how that can happen. You know, because I've seen it happen where it's like, you know, when I got married, I was like 190-ish, and now I'm not, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, that's what has happened over 10 years, is I progressively put on more weight and put on more weight and put on more weight, and, which is what happens to most people that, like, gain weight and aren't healthy. And I'm like, and I also know, like, this is the other thing for me, like, in my head, I have this, like, it stopped, but I was saying that, like, I have it fine-tuned in my head somewhere, too, that if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna get healthy, like, I turn 50 in June. Like, we gotta start this thing before June. Like, I wanna go into my 50th year, like, at least attempting to be the healthiest I've ever been in my life. And whether I start that in May at the beginning of June next year, or whether I start that next week, like I have got to do that before going into 50. Or I think that I'm just like, inside my head, I'm just gonna be like, well, whatever. This is what it is. And I'm not okay with that. Like, I'm not okay with that. Like, I feel like I have to do something about it. You know what's so funny is, I went to Clay Junior High School, and it was the Clay Trojans. I don't know why this just hit my head, but anyway, this guy in front of me had like a Trojan head, like, on the back of his, isn't that, like, kind of such a funny, anyway, mascot? But he had a Trojan on the back of his car, like, emblem, and I was like, that's so interesting. Anyway, my neighbors did intermittent fasting, and they loved it. Well, they're still doing it. And, you know, the thing that's been, like, the best for me the last, I'd say, 5 or 6 years was when I did the fast and feasting thing, where it was like 1 day a week I would eat like whatever I wanted to eat, and then like the next day, like, I fasted, and then the 5 days after that you eat 1,000 calories. Like, and if I could do that and those 1,000 calories be like super healthy things, I think I'd be okay, you know. And then it started working out and going back to walking, and then turning that into running eventually, and starting to lift. I don't know. I'd like to, you know what I would love is if I could get addicted to working out and being healthy again. Like, those times that I was like, you couldn't keep me out of the gym. Like, I looked fantastic. I felt fantastic. Hell, I was drinking protein shakes because I enjoyed them. You know, like, that's what I miss. And I guess I kind of thought that would happen to me the last time that I started going to the gym again, and it just didn't happen, you know? It just didn't happen. And that's what I thought was going to happen. Things change as you get older, you know? Your metabolism changes, your desire, your willingness to work hard. I mean, it is hard work to, like, get healthy and get into shape. And, you know, honestly, I just didn't have it. I don't know. Like, I have this desire, like, I see in my head of what I look like thinner. But then it's not until, like, I then convince myself I don't care. And then I see myself, like, sitting by the pool. Like, I catch myself in, like, you know, an image on the door. And I'm like, damn, like, seriously? Like, you are really heavy, you know? And then I'm like, what has happened? And then I start beating myself up, and I start shaming myself. And then it's like this whole cycle, you know? Anyway. You know, even, like, I'm sitting here thinking about Weight Watchers. Like, I did really well on Weight Watchers. I've done it, like, twice in my life. And both times I did really well on it. Like, one time I got down from, like, 200 and something to below 170 and kept it off. But it was kind of like constantly thinking about it. We had the calculators back then. I don't think they do the calculators anymore. The calculators made it fun, where you put in all the numbers and it would tell you how many points it was, and then it would like add up your points, you know. And then there was also this place that I went to that was called the Weight Watchers. It was next to Weight Watchers, where you like go like, I don't even know if they still do it that way or not, but where you go and like weigh in and stuff. And so it was right next to it. It was like this little, like, it was like a local deli that somebody had put together, and it was like the Weight Watcher. It was called like, you know, Judy's Deli or something, but it was a Weight Watchers deli. It was literally right next to where you weighed in, and you just went in and they had like a little pastry area and whatever, and they'd have like carrot cake, 8 points, and it would say that underneath there, and you could get like a deli piece of like whatever, or a sandwich or whatever. It was really convenient. I would go in there and buy stuff. I did real well on Weight Watchers, but like thinking about it right now, like it was constant. I was thinking about it all the time. All the time. The other thing with Weight Watchers is it's real slow, which is fine because you keep it off longer. I mean, it's a really healthy one. Like if you're listening to this and you're like, Peter, I relate to you and I'm looking for something to do and I'm ready to do it now, I can stand behind Weight Watchers and say that. I thought Weight Watchers, unless it's got, people have written articles or done studies recently, I don't know about all that. But when I did it, I thought it was healthy. The only thing was that I did so many like lean cuisine meals, and we were eating like a lot of like green beans, because I did it with my ex, and then I did it another time by myself, because green beans were like 0 calories. So you could eat, there's like certain 0 calorie foods, like I think celery was another one, radishes or whatever, that you could eat as much of it as you want. So like every night for dinner we would like make 2 lean cuisines, and then we would have like a huge pot of green beans, because you could just eat all the green beans you wanted and it filled you up, right? But the thing was that, like with the lean cuisines and whatever, like it didn't even occur to me, like I lost all this weight, and then I can't remember who I was talking to, but somebody said, do you realize like high amounts of sodium that you're intaking with this diet? Like, and it didn't even occur to me. Like lean cuisines have a lot of sodium in them, and then on top of that, we were putting salt in the green beans and stuff, and it just was a lot of sodium, and I didn't even realize it. I mean, trust, it's not something like I think about that every single day, you know, today. But back then I was like trying to get healthy and whatever, and I will say this is that I didn't work out while I did Weight Watchers either time. I don't think I did. Maybe the second time I did. I mean, in all honesty, the best shape I've ever been in and the best I've ever felt in my entire life, well, when I did the raw foods diet, this was probably 6 or 7 years ago. I did it for 30 days. I did it from the end of, did I do it in October, or did I start it November 1st? I think I started it November 1st and I did it through Thanksgiving. I did a raw foods diet. That was hands down the best I've ever felt in my entire life. Hands down. Like, that convinced me that A, we are not supposed to eat meat as human beings, and I'm just telling you that because of how I felt. And B, that raw fruit and vegetables are literally our life source. I cannot even tell you, I had no headaches, I had no migraines. Like when I did that juicing thing, that fat, sick, and nearly dead juicing thing, that just made my migraines worse. Like he says in there, it's supposed to take your migraines away. It made my migraines worse. And maybe it's because I didn't do it long enough. I don't know. But when I did the raw foods diet, which is extremely expensive, by the way. You don't think it's going to be, but like, I would eat like 6 bananas in a day, plus like 5 apples, and I make a huge salad, but you don't put salad dressing on it, and you have like nuts and stuff. It's just all raw food that you don't cook. I was blown away. Like, my headaches went away. I lost any kind of being bloated, like literally overnight. And I was thirsty for water all the time, so I drank water. That's all you really drink on it. And I wasn't drinking caffeine. I wasn't drinking coffee because you don't heat anything up. So I had like a caffeine headache, but only for like a couple days, and then it went away. And I mean, I was getting like 7 hours of sleep at night, and I would wake up and I'd be like, I'm wide awake. I felt so good, you guys. And, I mean, it was like the best I ever felt. But I will say that I craved all kinds of food on doing that. I wouldn't even consider that a diet. But, like, I mean, I call it a raw foods diet. But, like, if you did it as a way of life. I mean, I saw so many videos and read people's articles and watched their stuff about where they, like, grew their own gardens. And they had done it for years and years and years and years. And I will say that, like, one of the things that was kind of bizarre about it was the majority of the people that I saw were, like, let's say in their 60s, and they literally looked like they were 35 or 40. Like, it just kind of stopped the aging process. It was really bizarre. But I believe it. That was like, that diet was almost kind of like Avatar. Like, it was so weird because I felt so healthy on that diet. And that was another diet that I got real excited about doing, because it was like every day I would go and buy, I mean, you literally could go and buy every fruit and vegetable you wanted and all the nuts, and you could eat as much of it as you, that was the other thing, you could eat as much of it as you wanted to, because, like, you were supposed to eat when your body was hungry. So if your body was hungry for a banana, you ate a banana. You just opened it up and ate the banana. And you wanted an apple, you ate an apple. You wanted a mango, oh God, that's where I got started eating mangoes. So yeah, I loved doing that, but I don't think that's something that I could live on for a long period of time, unless I was on, like, a deserted island. And, the Weight Watchers was good. The Weight Watchers helped me with thinking a lot about, like, making choices as far as food, you know, and, like, what food I was going to eat and things like that. Because you really think things through. And I can remember standing in the grocery store and looking at all the nutrition. And it really taught me a lot about, like, the nutritional facts and stuff like that, too, because it was something that I really had to think about. Because you have to plug all that stuff in and kind of figure it out. I mean, I could look at the back of a thing. Well, I don't know if I could do it now, but back then I could look at the back of a package and I could tell you how many points a serving was just by looking at it. It was fun. It was fun to do that. Initially, we did it with our two friends in Seymour, Indiana. And then we stopped doing it over some time. He and I did, my ex and I did every diet that was ever out there. We did the South Beach diet, the couch soup diet. I've done every diet that ever existed out there. I haven't done keto and Atkins a lot. I will say those are the two that I haven't done. But yeah, I'm not a big believer. Oh, I know, this is what I was going to say. I'm not a big believer in diets. Like, the best I ever felt was the raw foods, when I was doing the raw foods diet, but that was just, I was living that way. And the other time was before I was a vegetarian the first time, and I was, like, for breakfast, I would have, like, a granola bar, and then I would have, like, some kind of juice, like grapefruit juice, because I really believed in grapefruit juice back then. And then I would have, like, a protein shake. And then for lunch, I would have a can of tuna, one of the little cans of tuna. And then I would have a little can of V8 juice without salt in it, without sodium. And then I would have 2 saltine crackers. That's it. That's what I had for lunch. And then for dinner, first I would come home and I would take a nap, and then I would go work out at the gym. And I was running on a treadmill for about 30 to 45 minutes. I was running fast. Or I would do, like, the Stairmaster, stair stepper thing. And if I did that for like an hour. And then I was lifting weights 5 to 6 days a week on top of that. And then when I got back from working out, I would go to my just little apartment gym, and I was, like, the only one there most times, and I'd be there for like 2.5 hours. And when I came home, and drinking water the whole time, and when I came home, I would make 2, they used to come, like, already pre-cooked. They were 2 breasts, or pre-grilled, 2 grilled breasts of chicken, and I would heat them up in the microwave, and I don't know if I would heat up 1 or 2, I think 2, and then, because I was, like, on a high protein diet, and then I would make steamed vegetables with wild rice in this, like, vegetable steamer that I had. I actually did kind of cook back then a little bit for me, you know. And then I would make a peanut butter sandwich, and I would either drink a protein shake or I would have a large glass of milk, and that was my dinner. And I ate, like, almost the exact same thing every single night for dinner. I was in incredible shape, you guys. I was like 165, and I was lean, and I was taut, and I mean, I was like real muscular. And I was, at the time, that was before I got with my ex. So I was like 27, 28 probably when I did that. That was the best I've ever felt in my entire life. There have been times that I thought to myself, which I wouldn't have to stop. It's just because of like the comfort level of that. But I thought, well, maybe if I wasn't a vegetarian, I could go back to that, what I was eating then, and get into shape. But the reality is, if I stopped being a vegetarian, that's not the kind of stuff I would eat. I would go back and I don't even know, honestly, right now that I could go back, because where it started with me being a vegetarian and where I'm at now, it's two different things. Like when I started, it was really about weight, and I just wanted to see if I could do it to minimize my carbon imprint. And like where I'm at now, it does actually have a lot to do, even though I haven't, you know, it's not about the movies and stuff like that. Where I'm at now, it actually does have a lot to do with just my love of animals and things like that. So where am I at on time? I don't know how long I have been vlogging for. Yeah, so my being a vegetarian today has a lot to do with that. And I just don't know that I could, like, this is gonna sound so strange, but if you're a vegetarian, you'll know what I mean by this. And I don't know, 5 years from now, I may not eat meat substitutes because of this. But there are times that I'll eat like an Impossible Burger, or I'll eat like a Beyond Burger, or even like a Morningstar sausage or chicken or something like that, and I'll think to myself, this is too meaty. Like, I don't like, it's too meaty, it tastes too meaty. That it almost kind of freaks me out. Like, if you're a vegetarian, that'll make sense to you. You'll know what I'm talking about. So I understand how people get to the point where they don't eat meat substitutes anymore. I don't know that I'll ever get there, but I understand how people get there. That little store was so cute. I have driven through Zionsville like the last 2 weeks every night. Are you guys excited for the Vegas vlogs again? Oh my God, the battery's dying. I can't believe this is well, this battery lasted us a long time. So I think I've vlogged about an hour. I think I have. I think I've vlogged maybe a little bit over an hour. I'm not sure. Let's see, 20, 36. Oh yeah, I think I've done about an hour and 5 or 6 minutes. Anyway, all right, you guys, I'm gonna get off here now. So I hope that you are having a magically amazing Monday. If nobody else has told you this today, who, what, how, when, why, where? Peter loves you. I love you. So if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a beautiful beginning to your week. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!